So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? You know what you're going to say about the Yankees?
Oh, sports are so pedestrian. I prepared some science experiments that will illuminate the mind and dazzle the eye.
I wrote a 20-minute bit about how homework stinks.
So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? You know what you're going to say about the Yankees? Oh, sports is so pedestrian. I've prepared some science experiments that will illuminate the mind and dazzle the eye. I wrote a 20-minute bit about how homework stinks. I can't speak. I wrote a 20-minute bit about how homework stinks. Yeah. Okay, so the yellow parts are, we got to talk about that. Ooh, yeah, lots of mistakes, lots of problems here, right? So, yeah, pedestrian, illuminate. I'll give you that. Those are vocabulary, so I'll make those black. All right, so if you missed those, even the word dazzle, I'll give you dazzle too. Yankees, a proper noun. We talked about assembly, so you should have gotten that. Yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about is many of you put a comma here. No, there's no comma. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me why. Why is there no comma? All right, so here's a question. You can put your answer on box. Why is there no comma? There's no comma. All right. And some of you said I-Z with an S. No, that's I love it. Yeah, dazzle the eye. Dazzle the eyes, I guess, is possible, but the meaning is different. Should I make that a question? Yeah, I'll make that a question too. Dazzle the eyes, means what? Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Oh, geez. Dazzle the eyes means what? All right, so let me readjust these things. There we go. So there's another question. Okay. Yes, sports is. Yep. Is this grammatically acceptable? Yes, it is. Should I give you another question? Good Lord. Yeah, okay, I'll give you another question. Why is appropriate? And why is my Microsoft Word being so silly? Okay, so are you ready? Yeah, it's a question. So you are. No, some of you wrote you are. No, it's not that. It's are you. Okay, and this is really tough to catch, but it's very common. So you ready? So you're ready? So you're ready? Yeah, believe it or not, I am saying are, but it just kind of disappears. The R sound is there. In my head, I'm saying it clearly. But this section right here is so fast that it's just kind of tough to catch. But we hear the ready. So you ready? So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? Assembly. So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? So are you ready? So are you ready? So are you ready for the assembly? For the get that sound, guys. The words are so simple, right? Assembly's tough. Everything else is super simple. You should be able to hear this one time and catch it. And this is part 5. So if you studied part 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you should be ready for this sentence. This is a simple question. So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? Now, if it was tough for you, that's fine. It just means you need to practice speaking more. So if you can, please join the live classes and practice. Practice with me, practice with the other coaches. Please. It's so important, okay? Minimally, practice with the Repeat After Coach Shane file, okay? Please, you have to, because this type of sentence is super simple. I can give this sentence to a beginner, and they will figure it out, right? You agree with that, okay? So this type of sentence, I don't want you guys to make mistakes. So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? We talked about every pronunciation point. If you have questions, let me know. You know what you're, yeah, it's a stop. It's going to be probably a glottal stop back here. You know what ear, you what ear, what ear, you know what you're gonna, we know you're gonna, you know what you're gonna say about the Yankees? The Yankees? You know what you're gonna say about the Yankees? Yes, I agree. It's very fast. No excuses. No. Don't let speed be a problem, because the pronunciation was clear. At least it's pronunciation that I've taught. Okay, so no excuses. So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? You know what you're going to say about the Yankees? Oh, sports is so pedestrian. Okay, yeah. So this is a great sentence. Something is so pedestrian. This is part of EVC, your terms. This is a new expression for us, and I'll explain it tomorrow. Sports is so, yes, he says is. Why? Is that correct? Why is that correct? It is correct. Sports is so pedestrian. Now, very few of you wrote the VE, and I double checked, and yeah, I agree. It's really tough to hear. In fact, because of the consonant, we can cancel the sound, but I really do think George is saying it. George is now intelligent. Daily English, and we talked about this in the last assignment. Coach Gulia had a question for me. Janjira had a question for me. Why don't Americans use the VE? Yeah, we don't. I prepared. Simply, we can say I prepared. But I've prepared is correct, and somebody who's intellectual, somebody who thinks sports is so pedestrian, would definitely want to use the, and I'm quite certain he does. He says it fast, but I think it's there. I've prepared some science experiments. I've prepared some science experiments that will illuminate the mind and dazzle the eye. Wow. Ooh. I wrote a great flap T. I wrote a 20-minute bit. Yeah, this is another tough word. If you miss bit, that's fine. I wrote a 20-minute bit about how homework stinks. This is also EVC word. Yeah, does he say the S? He does, but even I know it's really tough to hear. It must be there. Grammatically, it has to be there. And the only thing I can say, the microphone didn't pick it up. The audio editor cut it or faded out too fast. But it's got to be there. So please say it, okay? Anything else? Oh, yeah. And I put a question after this. You know, in the italic, the little words that I have here, I put a question. And as far as I know, only Coach Gulia answered it. Yeah, there's a question there. Anyway. 2 times. So, are you ready for the assembly tomorrow? Tomorrow they have to give a speech. 1 hour for Jerry, 1 hour for George. Jerry's going to talk about becoming a comedian, and George is going to talk about becoming a New York Yankee, right? You know, there's no comma, and you guys did great. And I asked you why. Yes, do you know? We're missing the word do. Do you know what you're going to say about the Yankees? Do you know? Yeah, we're missing the word do. It's not, I like coffee. I think I'm going to go shopping tomorrow, whatever. It's not that. It's not an intro. It's not an interjection. It's not a blank. I forgot the word, and you guys gave it to me. Yeah, it's I forgot the word. Anyway, this is actually part of the sentence. It's part of the interrogative. Do you know? Okay, do you know? There was another great question. Are you ready to the assembly? Are you ready for the assembly? Same thing? No. To, when we use the preposition to, we have to have an action verb. Are you ready to go to the assembly? Then we can say that. We need some sort of action movement to go along with to. And are you ready for, we don't need anything. Are you ready for the assembly? Okay, so yes, there is a difference. You can use to the assembly, but you need to add some movement verbiage to the sentence, okay? George, sports, and I asked you about the S. Sports is so pedestrian. Yes, in America, sports in general is singular noun. In the UK, they say sport. Do you like sport? What sport do you like? Well, that's different. Do you enjoy playing sport? Something like that. I don't know. I'm not British. But they use it without the S. In America, no. Yeah, we always keep the S. Sports. I like sports. So if somebody says, I like sports, they're saying basketball, football, baseball, soccer, hockey, golf, swimming, tennis, running, cycling. We don't know. They're saying everything. So when somebody says, I like sports, the question is, oh, what kind? Got it? George says, sports is so pedestrian. Oh, sports. Intellectual people do not partake, do not enjoy, are not involved with sports. Really? So George is not going to talk about the New York Yankees. I've prepared some science experiments. Wow. That will illuminate the mind. Wow. And dazzle, the eye. Yeah. Dazzle the eyes is also possible, but yes, you guys gave me the right answer. Dazzle the eye is the idiom. Dazzle the eyes would actually be something really bright, like the flashlight on my, of course, now I can't, there you go. The flashlight on my, whoa, oh, that's going to dazzle the eyes, okay? That's actually dazzling, blinding, okay? But I imagine sometimes people might say dazzle the eyes in the idiomatic sense too. But the actual idiom is dazzle the eye, okay? Jerry says, oh, wow. So he's impressed. Wow, George is doing something intelligent. I wrote a 20-minute bit, a 20-minute joke, a 20-minute routine about how homework stinks. Do you know when you get your homework, nobody likes to do homework, blah, 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 and he makes a 20-minute joke. I asked a question. Which would your 14-year-old self, when you were 14 years old, which would you want to see? Would you want to see the science experiments, or would you want to see the joke about homework? Me, when I was 14, yeah, I'd probably want to see the science. I mean, I love jokes, but science is cool when you're 14, because school is just starting to get difficult. And, chemistry and physics, we haven't really started yet. We're just kind of beginning. So that would be interesting. If I were 17 years old, then I would want to see the jokes. Definitely. Yeah. I think the older you get, you don't want to work anymore. You already have enough work. You don't need more work. Give me the humor. Yeah, I think so.
So you ready for the assembly tomorrow? You know what you're going to say about the Yankees?
Oh, sports are so pedestrian. I prepared some science experiments that will illuminate the mind and dazzle the eye.
I wrote a 20-minute bit about how homework stinks.